Welcome to episode 12 of the Old White Man Show. I call it the Old White Man Show because I'm old, I'm white, and I'm a man. Normally what we do is we talk a little bit about my history, my thoughts on different things, then a little bit about current events. But we need to get the bull out the closet this morning. As we all know that the national championship team, LSU, lost yesterday to Mississippi State. And everybody's been asking me, how does that affect me? I think they said that 17 of the players from last year went to the NFL. But last year, of those 17 players, 10 was the top 100 in the whole country. So that's a big loss to take. And they got this new quarterback starting off. He's following Joe Burrow. Big shoes to fill. Our receivers that we had left over opt not to play because they didn't want to take a chance of getting hurt because they thought the defense wasn't as good as it should have been, and they're afraid of the virus that somebody created. So LSU, they've lost one game. If they win the remaining of the games, they'll probably be in the playoffs. But I don't think that's going to happen this year. I looked that up, I'm going to be honest. Next week they play Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt put a good game up against Texas A&M yesterday. The week after that they play Missouri. Then they got to play the number 5 team that's bound to move up now, Florida Gators. And they'll probably be 3 or 4 this week. And they got the South Carolina Gamecocks, which is a good team. Auburn, who's top 10. Arkansas. Texas A&M, who's top 10, who's probably going to move up because LSU lost and Oklahoma lost. And they got to play Ole Miss. So I'm putting my hopes on this. That this year they will rebuild. That would be at least 5 and 5, and that LSU will recover. If I had to put my money on a team that won the national championship this year, I'm going to stay within the conference and say Alabama. I think the second best team is going to be the University of Texas. So that's what I'm thinking this year. But all year long, LSU is still the national champs. Until they lose that title officially in the playoffs, they will be the national champs. So that being said, Frank, I want you to know LSU is the national champs. I was thinking about, some of my war days and things that happened. And I know my second year in Vietnam, I was with a unit, the 23rd Infantry Division, 1st to 506. We had a unit in there, a young lieutenant by the name of Callie, who got real bad rap because he decided to save American lives and attack the village in which innocent men and women may have been killed, to include children. That's what happens in war. But the only thing the media could remember back in those days is that children got killed. Innocent children. What the media didn't tell you about is all the innocent children that was being killed, legally in the United States by abortion. Millions and millions and millions of young children, unborn, has died, has been murdered in our country. And that's okay, that's acceptable, the media likes that. And some of these late night TV hosts I mean, I heard one this morning talking on Facebook, about the new Supreme Court justice. Really upset, making fun of her because she's a Catholic, making fun of her because she's got 7 kids, making fun of her because she's still got married to the man that she fell in love with and had children with. This start off by saying that in our country, we elect a president every 4 years. We elect that man, whoever he may be, for 4 years. And then he has a right to run for a re-election one more time. When we elected Donald J. Trump in 2016, he was president-elect after the election day. But he wasn't the president until January, when he took office, swore the oath. And if I use simple math and say 4 years, then it means that he will still be president in January of next year, where he may or may not leave office depending on who's elected. But Donald J. Trump, mathematically, is our president. And he was elected for 4 years. The Constitution didn't say, I'm going to elect you to 3.5 years, and then if someone else is running against you, you can't make any decisions because it might not be good for the country. They said, you elected for 4 years. Now, all these dumbass politicians with law degrees, and the dumbest people in our country is lawyers. They paid to lie, they make their fortune on lie. I got a little friend of mine who's a lawyer. He lies. He doesn't want to commit to, understand the truth. The truth is, Donald Trump is our president. The truth is, he is charged by the Constitution and the laws of our country to head our country until the next president takes over. And one of the things he's supposed to do is to recommend, if there's a vacancy in our Supreme Court, someone to fill it. Now, he's done that. He's done his job. He's a good man. He's not a politician. He's just a common businessman, a rich businessman, but he's a businessman. And he appointed someone that he thought had outstanding criteria. And now the media and some of these dumbass lawyers who's politicians trying to figure out ways to tear her down. Well, you're not going to tear her down. The Constitution forbids you to pick on her religion. It's freedom of religion. Everyone has the right to worship their own religion. So whether you're a Catholic or Protestant or any other form of Christian, whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, it makes no difference. That's your religion. You're entitled to that. And I'm quite sure that she's going to get grilled, over the next few weeks by everybody who can grill her, about her religion. But stay fast. It's okay to be a Catholic. It's okay to be a Christian. And it's okay to believe that life starts at conception. In fact, I kind of believe that myself. Life starts at conception. It cracks me up. When I was a boy, we used to always have veal parmesan. And veal parmesan came from veal that was taken from an unborn calf. It's kind of like an abortion of cows. And the animal people got together and they said that was terrible, and they stopped that practice. So now you can't have real veal no more. But it's okay to do it for real babies. It's just not right with the way they handle this. But I'm going to go take the high road and say, all you lawyers out there, go to hell. That's my high road. You don't have the right to tell me what the Constitution says. I can read it for myself, and I can understand it for myself. I don't need your opinion. And the Constitution that I read states that our president is president for 4 years. The Constitution I read is that there's freedom of religion, and no one has a right to indulge in anyone else's religion. And that's just the way I feel. If you don't like it, then, like I said, go to hell. Because what needs to be done should be done. And all you little attorneys who disagrees and says this and that, you're lying. You go to lie school, you lie to get people off that's guilty. You lie about this, you lie about that. I keep hearing about this little girl in Atlanta, this innocent Angel Flower, that accidentally got shot in a botched police raid on her apartment. But it doesn't say it's all the information and facts. It didn't talk about there was a dead body in her car years earlier, that there was an investigation going on for murder, for drugs, that her boyfriend was a known drug person, that she was a drug person, that when they knocked on the door and entered, the boyfriend shot. Police shot back in self-defense, and she was killed. Accident, tragic. She should have been arrested so she could have went to prison, but she wasn't. She got killed, and now she's just a little angel that's floating around, causing a hell of a lot of trouble again. And no one wants to say that. They say, oh, it's a human life that's lost. How about the human life that's lost, the millions of them that's lost in our country every year on abortion? All those, 80% of all abortions seem to become from minorities. Is there something that, people who support abortion don't like minorities, and that's why y'all killing those babies? Is it true that the person who started this Planned Parenthood really was anti-black? And that's why she started it and supported it? Is it true that our Democratic government, our Democratic senators and representatives and people in the Democratic Party really wants to kill black people? Hey, the KKK, you gotta be Democratic. As an Italian American, I can tell you one thing. As the Italians, they used to hang us, the KK did. That's just what they do. They don't like Catholics either. It's another Democratic hate group. Just like this Antifa, another Democratic hate group. The Democrats, they sure are hateful people. They own the media, and they pretty hateful. And they got people up there that's kind of like little puppets. They report what they told to report. And their opinions is the opinions of whoever their producers is, not their opinions. We lost the real live media. So, I'm going to conclude this week that the idea is abortion is wrong, the president is the president, and this young lady who's been nominated to become Supreme Court Justice, her religion's okay. Besides that, she's from New Orleans. She can't be bad. Always people from New Orleans, we kind of good. And with that, remember that even though LSU lost, they still the national champions. You can't take that away from them. Have a good week and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.